We're going over our breaking daily case updates. We got a lot of information to go over today. First, we're going to start out with Elijah Vu. Elijah Vu is the 3-year-old child that's missing from Two Rivers, Wisconsin. His mother, Katrina Bauer, her boyfriend, Jesse Vang. Apparently, she was leaving this 3-year-old in his care for disciplinary, mind you, only 3 years old, disciplinary reasons. There was a photo on her phone that showed this little boy blindfolded and, on a bed while they were engaging in some kind of, I'll leave it at that. So right now, the searchers were called off due to weather. They've been searching. We're nearing the 7th week in this case. They did find the dinosaur slippers. They found the blanket. They just haven't found Elijah. And mom and her boyfriend still remain behind bars at this moment. They did have a large-scale push for Elijah Vu to get some more people out there and in the area. And again, nothing was fruitful from those searches. So we're still in the same situation. Nobody knows where Elijah Vu is. There's still search efforts. If you'd like to get involved, if you're near the Two Rivers, Wisconsin area, please consider going out there and helping search for Elijah Vu. Otherwise, please just share his information around. Again, 3-year-old missing. It's not a good situation. He's been missing. We're nearing our 7th week of him being gone. And we need help. Everybody out there needs help with this case. We're not going to spend too much time. We have so much to go over on our new cases. So I'm just giving you guys just the brief rundown and digest version of these other cases that are kind of at a standstill, if you will. This right here is Madeline Soto. She disappeared on February 26th. On February 28th, her mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, was arrested for images and videos that they found on his phone. 2 days later, they found her behind some bushes on a desolate part of the road, obviously deceased. No one has been arrested for her disappearance or her untimely death. We did get an update just recently from the Florida State Attorney on this Madeline Soto case. They didn't identify when they plan on making any arrests. They didn't identify anything, just that they are dotting their I's and crossing their T's, more word salad. We have literally been going for over a month, and this young girl still has no justice. We don't know if her mother's involved. We don't know anything about this case other than this young girl is deceased and nobody's been arrested for her condition. And that is what is the absolute hardest, I think, personally for me. All right, guys, this is where we are going to be getting kind of speeding up on our morning live. This is the case that we've been covering. This is the case I'm going to start taking a little more time to explain to you guys, so stick with me. This is Veronica Butler. This is Jillian Kelly. Veronica Butler is in a new relationship. She has a fiance. This is the preacher's wife. She obviously is associated with a church and has a pastor for a husband. She was assisting Veronica in going to pick up her children for a scheduled supervised visitation where they were taking children to a birthday party. One of the pastors reached out to Heath Kelly, Jillian's husband, to let him know that the ladies never made it. So Jillian's husband, Heath, and Veronica's fiance got in a car and started going and traveling. And that's when they came across their vehicle on the side of the road, which was surrounded by law enforcement agencies and agents at the time that they pulled up. We came here and broke here a rumor that we had heard. And our rumor that we heard was there was busted out windows and there was blood contained inside the car. Now, I told you guys I was unsure if that was true reality, that I was hearing that from a lot of different people. And I could not tell you whether it was true or not. However, if true, this is really a serious situation. And we're finding out because, listen to this, we have mainstream media out there on the ground, and they are asking law enforcement about the busted windows and whether there was blood in the car. So this is not something that was just rumor. This sounds like this may actually hold water. This may be the reason why they were so adamant early on in this case that this was foul play, is because there may have been busted out windows and blood in or around the vehicle when law enforcement got there. So this is a grave situation. Anybody in Kansas, anybody in Oklahoma, if you've seen these women, please reach out to your local law enforcement. They need your help this morning. Now, some details that people need to know about the case. Obviously, this was a custody dispute. And so naturally, all of us go straight to the ex, right? The ex is Wrangler Cole Rickman. And he has some questionable criminal charges in his background. But here is the kicker. His entire family is saying, and we have a court order, so this is verified information. I definitely am possessing the court order in my possession, custody, and control. But he was ordered to drug rehab. Okay, so apparently there must be some type of substance abuse in this family and in this household, or at least on the father's side, because he was ordered into rehab. We've heard from his family that he turned himself into rehab on March 22nd. He's not allowed to leave the facility or have any type of outside contact for at least 30 days. So he's probably just learning about his ex missing. But we can't exclude him, even though he doesn't appear that he is not involved in this situation. We can't exclude him because they were going to see his family. He's got, I've been listening. We have a Facebook group. People have really been putting in information in that Facebook group. And apparently her boyfriend, his brother, and their stepfather are bad news. Violent people, bad news. So we know for a fact that this probably, I shouldn't say for a fact, but it has a good probability that these ladies have disappeared because of Veronica's ex's family. Somehow, some way, it is associated with the custody of those children. And that's what's so concerning. So, again, her boyfriend Wrangler, our ex-boyfriend Wrangler, was in rehab, but he can't be excluded because she's missing. And I don't know what's going on. But again, these are the beautiful ladies. Seems like there was something else that I needed to tell you guys about this case, but for whatever reason, that's what I feel that you guys needed to know. So okay. So this is going back to Sebastian. You guys know Sebastian Rogers. He's the 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from Hendersonville, Tennessee. We've been spending a lot of time on him. We've been doing a lot of videos, really diving into this case. His mom and stepfather are way sus. We're very concerned about this boy's well-being because of the behavior of the parents. Not because we have evidence that something bad happened to him. It's just the fact that the parents are acting so bizarre. The stepfather and his mother, Katy Proudfoot and Christopher Proudfoot, are acting so crazy and so bizarre that we truly are now concerned about this boy's true well-being because we think something happened to him and we think his mom and his stepdad know what it was. Law enforcement for over a month has been telling us no foul play, nothing to see over here. This is just a kid that ran away. Everybody and their mother from the day one is screaming foul play, something ain't right. This is an autistic kid. He doesn't just walk out of the house without his shoes on. He doesn't just start changing his schedule because his schedule is what allows him to thrive. He's a very particular, high-functioning, autistic boy, but he likes shoes on his feet, period. One of the weird things about him, right, is that he has to have his feet covered. How is this boy walking out of his house without a scent? Now, barefoot, hard surface, skin-to-skin contact, but when you take dogs and put on where he allegedly walked with that skin-to-skin contact, there's not a scent to be picked up or to be had. It doesn't make sense. Mom and dad running away doesn't make sense. Mom and stepdad running away doesn't make sense. Stepdad having scratches doesn't make sense. Stepdad's schedule where he was doesn't make sense. And guys, we broke last night. Chris Proudfoot is refusing to take a polygraph test as well, to boot. If you guys remember on Nancy Grace, he said a few things. He said, one, the house had been forensically tested. That's a lie. He said that they have been looking high and low. The reason why they left is they don't know where this boy is, and they wanted to make sure that they covered and searched for him anywhere and everywhere. Yet when we went into Mississippi, there was not one flyer for this boy and no evidence that Chris or Katy even went out to search for him, talk about him, pass flyers out about him. Yes, we checked. So all of these things. So now they didn't have forensic. He said he lied about that. He lied about his polygraph test, taking his all these Facebook groups. Chris Proudfoot was touting he took the polygraph test. Both him and Katy passed. Him and Katy passed. Then we get over to Nancy Grace, and Nancy Grace point blank asked them, "Did you both take a polygraph test?" And they just froze. And then Katy spoke up and it's like, "I did." And then Chris is like, "Well, I didn't. I didn't need to." So you know what, Nancy Grace, good old-fashioned Nancy Grace style, right? Well, Chris, you wouldn't believe it, but I happen to have one of those polygraph experts, kind of in the back room back here, right? Why don't we set you up a polygraph test and just get this all done and over with? Why not? Let's just get it done and over with, right? He's like, "Sure, yeah, Nancy, yeah, I'd love to take a polygraph test, just set it up. You just name the date and time and I'll be there. Will ya?" Oh, okay, well, Nancy Grace set it up. Good old Nancy Grace. We love Nancy Grace. Who doesn't love Nancy Grace? Throw some clappy hands up in the chat, guys. We love Nancy Grace, right? She's bold, she's beautiful. She get it, right? She gets it. So she went ahead and said, "Okay, well, let me go ahead and schedule that polygraph. Hey, Chris, what date and time are you available? I got my polygraph guy here. I got my guy." And he's like, oh shit. Well, there's this thing called TBI, and they're kind of telling me, I probably shouldn't take this test. And, the rest of us are scratching our heads saying, TBI is giving you legal advice? They don't look like attorneys to me, Chris. Call me stupid, call me a little crazy. Many people do. But this sounds like an attorney told him not to take it, right? It sounds like an attorney told him not to take it. So that's what he tells him. He tells Nancy Grace, "Oh, TBI instructed me not to come on your show and take it." But listen to this. Another fun fact. Hey, Katy Proudfoot, remember those fun facts you like to tell us about yourself? Well, here's a fun fact. It's funny that you took a polygraph test. It's kind of funny that Seth, Nancy Grace also offered the same thing to Seth Rogers, the bio dad of Sebastian, right? Offered the same thing. Hey, Seth, I'll get you a polygraph test. We want let's just get this stuff taken care of. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, sure, no, not a problem. Let me know when." She's like, hey Seth, how you doing? I got my guy. We need to set you up. He's like, "Oh, sure, no, not a problem. Tell me where to go," right? So bio dad taking the polygraph test. TBI didn't seem to tell bio dad not to take the polygraph test, right? Seems a little funny, but Chris, now we're really looking at Chris. Chris has not had a polygraph test. Everybody else has, right? Well, Seth hasn't had it yet technically, but he's going to have it, right? We know he's going to take it. So we got my bio mom taking a polygraph, bio dad taking a polygraph test. And the person that was the furthest away, Chris Proudfoot, remember he was 3.5 hours away, Memphis, Tennessee, furthest one. Seth is only 45 minutes away. Mom's at ground zero. So the furthest person away, the one that literally, by all intents and purposes, could have nothing whatsoever to do with this crime. Right? 3.5 hours away. Furthest away from anybody, right? But you can't tell us where you were. You tell us, TBI tells you can't tell us your timeline. Your timeline is the only one that's top secret. TBI is telling you can't take a polygraph test, but everybody else that was closer and actually in and around Sebastian has. But you're special. And this is the same asshole that has scratches all up and down his arms days after Sebastian disappeared. So, call me crazy. But these are the reasons why I truly believe they had something to do with this. So now we have everybody that has disclosed their timeline, right? Bio mom, bio dad, we know exactly where they were. Bio mom's definitely had a polygraph test. Bio dad's about to have a polygraph test. And the only one that's resistant to anything is Chris Proudfoot. And he looks like a sneaky MFer, doesn't he? He looks like one of those people that would put on that camo outfit and sneak in his own house to take out his problem. Now this is going to be some breaking news. This is going to be heart-wrenching for some people. Okay? You guys know Justin on TikTok, okay? I've known him for years. I owe him a lot because we were out in front of Gabby Petito when I met him, right? He flew this plane around that said TikTok time's up, right? I'm out there with the bullhorn. Didn't know who this guy was. Then we started working together. You know, he raised money for me, Olivia, and Jonathan to continue our pursuit of the story of Gabby Petito. And him and his channel, this was years ago, back in 2021, him and his channel raised the money to get us out to Utah. And I can never thank you, RC. I can never thank, oh, hi, Danny, thank you. Thank Justin on TikTok enough. Because in reality, it was those trips that really, started this momentum of being boots on the ground. And to be honest with you, he was one of our first sponsors. I don't know how to explain it, right? I love Justin on TikTok. I owe him a lot. He's an amazing person, and he's got a YouTube channel. He's coming over to my neck of the woods, right? And he had an amazing interview with Seth Rogers last night, an amazing interview. And in this interview, we learned some really disheartening stuff, okay? I found out that Sebastian, this is public, this is coming from his father. I'm not violating anything. His father has expressed this. So please don't beat me up for saying this. I'm just repeating what was on a public broadcast. Sebastian was essayed, okay, by a 13-year-old boy when he was 8 years old. The issue in the family is, he was becoming 15 years old. He was probably starting to learn about his body, and he's autistic. So I'm sure he's not understanding what's going on with his body. And Chris was calling him a pervert, treating him like crap, making him feel like a monster, telling everybody that he can't trust Sebastian around his daughter. He doesn't want Sebastian there. He doesn't want Sebastian around his daughter. It seems like Chris he wanted his wife, but he did not want her son. And it makes me wonder because, it goes back to Maddie Soto. Like, why is he gone? This doesn't seem like something that a boy should be gone over. And then I'm thinking, well, if he was, it makes you wonder what kind of abuses Chris was putting on this boy, because Seth talked that night and he was upset, like literally crying. It was hard for me to keep myself composed. And he was up there crying and he's like, there was times that Sebastian didn't want to go back. And Seth would ask him, like, what's going on, son? Why aren't you wanting to go back to your mom and stepfather? And he said he wouldn't tell him. And so now, Seth is obviously beating himself up because he knew he didn't like it there, but he didn't have any clue of this. And now his son is gone. His son is like literally his life. Like, he was talking about how, when Justin asked him, like, how are you coping? How are you living? He's like, I never lived before. The only time I was alive before was on nights and weekends and summer vacation when I had my boy. That was the only time I feel alive. And he's like, right now, you can imagine the man feels dead inside. And he's ultra terrified because he's been out there looking for his son. I think he's coming to realization. And this is the part that's the hardest for me for any parent is when they start, it's hard. It's when they start realizing this isn't going to be good. This isn't ending good. There's nothing good about this. This is really, really bad. And the parents, the mother and the stepfather, military trained people are leaving a man behind and running away. They're pieces of shit. I can't say that loud enough. They're pieces of shit, and I don't cuss. No, I cuss a lot, but I usually don't cuss. Yeah, well, whatever. You guys get it. You guys just have to accept me for me. All right? I'm Bullhorn Betty. I don't like cussing. I love God, but I cuss a lot. Okay? This is so bad. Watching as a mama, I'd be done. Yeah. And that's the problem. Watching as a mama. I never spit a kid out of me. Okay? I love children. I have grandchildren. I married into them. And you say, the mama part. The problem is this mama, she ain't doing nothing for her daughter or for her son. She ain't doing nothing for him. She's doing absolutely nothing. We believe that Mama Bear comes out when somebody starts messing with our cub. Okay? Again, when it comes to my children and my grandchildren, I adopted them. Okay? Not physically, not in the courts, but they're mine. No matter how much time goes by, wherever it is, that's my family. If they call here today, say, "Ma, I need $100." Guess what? I'm probably sending them $100, right? But this mama and Pecos, Princess, you're saying, "Mama, I'd be devastated as a mama." Where's her devastation? Where's her outcry? We saw Riley Strain's mom. We saw what a broken woman missing her son looks like. And then we look over here at Katy Proudfoot, duck bobbing and weaving and kicking rocks with her husband as they roll out of town, leaving their son behind, their missing son behind. It's sad, but it's obvious. And then we hear that they're probably going to sell the house. Who thinks about selling a house when their child's missing? I can tell you that is probably going to be the furthest thing from my mind. Taking a shower and brushing my teeth would probably be the furthest thing from my mind when I have a child missing. And I think that goes for all of my audience here. I don't think that is unique to me. I think that that's just how normal people behave. I will never have respect for Katy Proudfoot, ever. Even if she's found never to have anything or any knowledge about what happened to her son, I will never, ever have respect for that lady. Ever. Because she chose a man over her son, and she walked out the door when her son was missing. And I don't care whether she had a hand in it or not. As far as I'm concerned, that lady can rot in hell. She can slap in hell. Because real women don't act that way. I guarantee I've got some beautiful people. I bet you I got some people right here in this chat right now that can't even stand me. And probably nodding their head saying, "Yep." We don't do that. We don't do that. Guys, I want to thank you guys for being here this beautiful morning. We've got some major cases going on. It is scary. We can't deny the scariness, how this all feels with all the cases, not just Elijah's case, but the two beautiful ladies that disappeared, going to see their, visit their kids. There's just a lot of bad stuff going on in this country, and we need to get a grip on it. I'm advocate. I go through the state advocating politically, not just my state, but around the country. I use these platforms to do double duty, right? So when I'm in an area for a case, such as if I go to Tennessee, I'm going to be there talking to their politicians as well, right? Because it's not just about bringing these cases. For me, it's not just about talking about these cases. For me, it's finding out what happened and trying to find solutions to prevent it from happening again. Okay. I'm not your normal content creator. I'm not one that just comes up here for click and view. I'm looking at these cases every single day. And I'm trying to find ways of what legislation could be put in place so this doesn't happen again. It's not just about talking about it. It's about getting off my butt and literally making a difference. And it may not save all the children. I'm not looking to save all the children. I'm looking to save one, and then I'm looking to save two. And it may not matter to all those children I can't save, but that one child I can save, that's two child I can save, it matters to them. And I do that with the help of these channels. I do that with the help of my audience. And we're going to be going out there and trying to find out what happened to Sebastian Rogers. I hope anybody out there will participate. 126, it says not 126 River Road. It's called Rudders. Everybody's going to be meeting there around 9:30 in the morning on Saturday morning. We could really use the public's help. We're very thankful that law enforcement has got new wind in their sails, and they are doing massive ground searches right now, and we can't thank them enough for that. So we're just got to keep working at it, guys. This is not easy stuff. This may take several times, several trips into this area. You guys know I've done over 13 trips for Summer Wells. She still hasn't been found. I've done at least 4 trips for Layla Santinello. She has not been found. I have not done a trip for him yet. I'm still kind of down like 4 flat tires. Hopefully I'll have the car back today. Say a prayer for Bullhorn Betty. For all my prayer warriors out there. I could use it. We need God to move some mountains for me, you know? So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Guys, thanks for being here. I just want to tell everybody here, why am I doing this every morning, this ridiculous amount of morning? One, I know you guys are being ignored and right, because nobody's up this time of morning except us crazy people, right? So I want to make sure that I get here. I want to make sure that you guys get an opportunity to hear the latest and greatest on these true crime cases. And this is sponsored by our channel subscribers. So if you love the work we do, if you would like to help out, consider becoming a monthly sponsor by subscribing to our subscriptions above. And that really does help us grow. It helps us get to places. It helps me do these these breaking news updates every morning for each and every one of you. So thank you guys for your love and support. Thank you for everything you do. But more importantly, thank you for allowing us to advocate for these victims. God bless. Take care. And we'll see you soon.